What's up, nerds? Welcome back to another episode of the Aggressively Average Anglers / Kayak Adventure Series. We got a lot to talk about and a lot of lessons to share with you guys. First, we got the recap from Juniata Regatta. We're going to be going through that a little bit. Then we have a couple of guests, the champions from this most recent event, as well as a previous event before that. So we're going to get Jordan Lovejoy and James Miller on the show. The cool thing about this, I'm like really excited about this. Drew and I were talking earlier this week, and we're like, what's the theme? What do we want to do? And it came down to let's do like lessons learned. And you had a great example. You were like, hey, we got a guy that just won national championship, and his first event ever, like 3 years ago, you said he skunked it.
Yeah,
Nothing.
3-4 years.
3-4 years ago. So in 3 to 4 years, like just grinding, just getting after it, just learning on the fly, putting in the time, putting in the energy, the effort. And I think this would be a fun show, especially if you've ever struggled in like an event format. You've gone to a tournament, you haven't done so well before, or you go out on the water and you just don't catch any fish. Like just hearing from these guys on how they picked themselves back up, how they got after it, and how they improved over time. This would be a fun one for y'all. So lots of lessons coming in tonight's show. But other than that, Drew, let's take it away. Let's kick it off. I want to hear about Juniata Regatta because guess what? I wasn't there.
Yeah.
I missed out big time.
Yeah, man. We're kicking it off here with Lines In, presented by Sunline. Lines In, we'll take just a short amount of time before Jordan gets on here. We'll chat. Jake and I will kind of give a little bit of our experience on, on the weekend that was, the week that was, and then do some Newport news and notes, and we'll get into the main event here with Jordan and James later in about 10 minutes. So I guess, yeah, I mean, I'm whipped. I know you were on vacation too, Jeff. Is that right? We were both in Mexico apparently at some point.
Yep.
So,
yeah, we were both in Mexico at the same time, which was wild. And I found out because we were talking to Cascading at the same time.
That was weird. They're like, what? Both these guys are, yeah. And
I had a great time.
Anyway,
hopefully you did.
We did. Yeah, my brother got married down in Cancun. He lives there in Cancun. He married a local girl in Playa del Carmen where they live. Yeah. So
Dude,
he's been there about 3 years.
We were 30 minutes apart. I was in Playa del Carmen. That's where I was.
That's where you were. Yeah. It's cool. Yeah. I had no clue.
Gosh.
That's where you were. Yeah. We went to Cozumel. What if we had ran into each other? Like on
that
Fifth Avenue?
Wild.
Because that's like the big avenue there where all the stores and stuff are. What if we had just literally ran into each other? That would have been the craziest thing ever.
Running into Gregory in Mexico randomly.
Yeah. Well, we'll have to get back down there if you guys enjoyed it sometime. My brother lives there. His wife's really cool. They scuba dive. We got to go do a guys trip. I think I told Jake about that. We need to all go down there, catch some saltwater fish, and just take a break from all this. But anyway, that was fun. Then of course, right when I get back, it's like load up, unpack from that trip, load up for the Juniata Regatta, and Jake was already pretty much on the road or even there before we even got back because you went with you and Cole rode together, and so you had a pretty wild, lengthy trip yourself. But anyway, I'm just whipped because it was a long couple of weeks for me. But how are you feeling after everything, Jake?
I'm actually all right. I didn't have to drive, so I'm I was just passenger princess. So
that's how I ride with Paul all the time too. It's great.
I caught a lot of fish on Tuesday and Thursday.
Yeah.
So
nice.
I even had a little time to get on the water myself, so that was pretty cool. A little time.
We both fished together. I think Drew did a little bit better than me, although I didn't do bad. But I went to the Susky on Wednesday, and it was awful, horrible, worst day I've ever had on that river ever, by far.
Wow.
Well, I will show you guys. It's kind of a little segue into something I was going to share with you guys today anyway. But if you click on the website and click on the photo galleries, Juniata Regatta is up. So you can see gorgeous. Some of our it's pretty.
An awesome river. It's real grassy but rocky at the same time, and it's super clear in a lot of spots.
Yeah, it was a great event. I mean, look at all these venues were awesome. Shy Bear Brewing was incredible. They had us for the Bastion brunch the next morning too. But trying to get to my fish
made the cut.
Is Colin Sunburn made the cut?
Yeah.
Oh, is that what he's pulling back his head? Yeah, that's his head. I was wondering what was going on there. Like, why was that a picture that was in here? But it was
just a whole forehead pic. Love it.
I thought it was like, look, my hair is receding or something. I don't know what that was about. We made the front page. See right here, we made the front page of the paper.
Nice.
Jeff Little did an incredible seminar. I chimed in a few little tips and tactics myself. It was fun.
Rat.
Cole bought a rat. Yeah, you guys just scroll through all these pictures. There's so many good pictures. Alan Lockwood. I mean, look at these pictures from the actual awards too. I love some of these pictures, just where you can see the screen, like the theater screen. You get kind of the concept of the feel of what KAS is, showing those. Yeah. I love this one of like Parker right here. You know, this one right here is awesome because you can see we're kind of looking back, watching his video of his fish catch and all the you know, the logos and stuff are there. That's just KAS right there. It was fun awards, but eventually we will get to some on the water, and you will see that I did catch a fish. So here they are. So this is kind of, you guys can scrub through. There I am. So somewhere in here there could be a picture of some fish, but there we go. There's one on the swag right there. There's one right there. Yeah,
that's what we would have been throwing.
He hung that bait. He actually caught it on a Ned rig.
Alan with a nice one. Did. Yeah, right. Sure. Everybody knows that's not true. No one would ever fall for that, Jake. But anyway, you guys go check it all out.
I caught mine on top water like a man.
Like a man. What a buzzbait, like a man.
Big old top water.
I don't throw a little.
Well, I got it on video. Swag in the covert spinner right there.
I'm just messing with him. I saw him catch it, so I know what he caught it on because I was right there.
Dude, the swag is if you're saying grassy, kind of rocky areas, a little bit clearer, like that's immediately what I gravitate towards. Those spinnerbait, definitely. Swag, definitely.
I was throwing,
but you know me, I'd throw a Ned too.
I was throwing that new Rapala claptail, the 110. That thing is that good? Like I don't.
You were smacking on it.
Yeah, it runs so good in current, and that's like the hardest part about a plopper style bait is it never. Yeah. You got to have like the good one, or it'll just like twist in current, and it just won't. That one runs super straight.
I was wondering.
It is loud.
I've been throwing that on my lake, and it is a fish deterrent on my lake, so it has not worked once. But yeah, I could see. I was in my head. I'm like, if I was on the river, I feel like I'd be doing better.
Dude,
with this.
Those smallmouth were crushing that thing. Like it was definitive.
Sweet.
Maybe on a river with current and stuff that's like kind of loud to them, and they just need something that like calls them up, and maybe your lake is a little
thing too that like gives it a little bit of like
the sound's amazing. Yeah, you get the flash. The sound is high quality. Like I really like it. I want it to work. I'm just saying that one day, that one scenario was not it.
So I tested all of them. Not to go too far off topic, but I tested all the new ones. I'm doing a full video on this. I did the clicking chicken, the screaming chopo, the claptail, and I tried them all, and the claptail was
things up right now.
That's what I thought when he told me.
We're back in Mexico.
I was like, "What are you talking about?"
The screaming chicken. What did you just say? The clicking chicken.
Clicking chicken and the screaming chopo.
Of course. What the heck is the clicking chicken?
The clicking chicken. I might.
It shows how out of the loop I am. I don't even know.
I've got one downstairs.
There is a clicking chicken. Not that I guess.
No, I don't believe you. I found it.
It's what he said. But
just another whopper plopper. Got it.
Runs, basically, yeah.
It runs pretty good. It runs pretty good.
Yeah, it's got the metal tail instead of the plastic tail. Interesting.
Well, we'll wait and watch the video. We'll get your full opinion. We'll hear all about it. I can't wait. We'll see it. You got the whole rundown. Yeah. Hey, let's jump to some news and notes real quick before we bring Jordan in. One thing I was going to mention is Wisconsin's coming up, and we do have maybe a few beds left for lodging. Maybe a couch or a cot, who knows?
Lots of floor, lots of ground, dirt. There's plenty of dirt. If you bring a pillow, you'll be fine.
Yeah, that's right. You can always do that here because look, we're at Wisco Cottages. You guys can check them out. They got all these cool, let's see if we can click on see.
This property is sick.
I'll just click on a cottage. You can see there's 5 of them. We rented every one of them. So we're trying something new and see if that's what they look like. There's other ones. Here we go. But yeah, if you guys are interested, we put on the Facebook page, we put the actual, pricing. It's not very much. It's super inexpensive. So come check it out. You can see they're pretty nice, some of them. But check it out if you guys are interested in staying for the Northwoods Bronze Quest. Another thing I was going to share with you guys real quick was the updated AOI standings. They are right here. Chris Anderson's still leading. Ryan Parker made a move up. He's not very far behind, 267 to 273. Josiah is at 264, which he was like 7th place at this event. So now he's not very far behind. Our young anglers, this new, this next up division, Jacob Turner's just right there. I mean, Zach Fuller, Zachary Bray, And here's the thing, though. Look at the number of events. So you scroll down, you look at somebody that says
Jordan is the one
Jordan,
that's actually in the best position. If he gets another good finish, I
don't know about. I mean, Parker's right up there with him, but with two, he's leader in the clubhouse with 2 events. So watch out for Jordan when he gets his third, because he's finished like 8th and 1st now. Jordan has, I think. So
nice.
But yeah, this thing's gonna be tight, because I think some people think, oh, we're gonna. It's Chris Anderson's going to run away with it. But that's what we thought last year with Adam Coleman. By the time everybody gets their third event, you know what I mean? And somebody wins or does good, like you just had Jordan and Parker do good on top of other good finishes. It tightens up pretty darn quick. And, Broodstock doesn't have to be one of your final events. So this is kind of anybody's ball game still. So with 2 left. And then the last thing I'll share with you guys real quick is the new power rankings. These aren't completely, this is sort of like beta. It's on the website now, but it's going to be eventually tweaked a little bit more. But these are basically I'm not going to get into the details now. Angler of the Year, though, is just this season, right? Power rankings are multiple seasons, but it does roll off eventually. If you haven't fished KS in, 2 years or whatever, eventually you're going to kind of phase out. But for now, this is sort of a ranking system we've come up with. And it's got a list. We're probably going to cut it off at the top, like 30 or 25, maybe even. And that's it. So it won't be all the way down anymore. It's sort of like the old college football. The rankings for college football, it creates a little bit of debate. We're going to add some media votes in here to kind of change this is all data right now that's pulled up these rankings. We're going to add like some media votes and stuff and sort of change the rankings a little bit just to get some debate and banter. They're just a little bit different than AOI. So pretty cool thing we got going with the power rankings. So
nice. All right. Well, shall we bring our guest in? Let's get Jordan on the show. Yeah.
Let's bring it in. It's the main event.
I have to go hands off. Chaz, you have to bring him in. If I click and you click and everybody clicks.
Then he goes in and out. There he is.
How's it going?
How we doing, man?
Pretty good. How about you guys?
Pretty good. I feel like, Paul, we're lacking a lot of, Jake, you too. Where's all our placements? Why don't we have more awards behind us, you guys?
I think you're supposed to win stuff to get those.
Oh, that's what we missed. That's what we messed up. Well, Jordan, you got a solid background there. It looks pretty sick. And congrats on the win.
Thank you very much.
That's awesome. So, for today, really wanted to dive in. First, obviously, congrats on what you just did. We talked about that, but let's get into. Do you want to start with just this event, Drew? And then, I'd love to get into just lessons for anglers out there. Really, the whole kind of thought process behind the show, right? Is like if somebody wants to go in and do their first tournament or they want to improve their standings with tournaments, we want to be able to give them some of those tips and tricks and things that they can do to sharpen the skill set, to get better and get after it. And Kayak Adventure Series is a great way to do that.
Let's do it this way. First of all, Jake, if you need a bounce, feel free, man. I know you got some stuff going on possibly, so at any time, don't feel like you got to stick around. But obviously love to have you if you can. But Jordan, let's do it this way, because the coolest part of your story that we're trying to get into, which is sort of the title of the show, I think, was just how far you've come in 3, 4, 5 years from the start, of your tournament, like really pushing hard on tournaments and focusing on it, putting in the work. See, Jeff and Paul, you guys put in the work for the videos and the YouTube and the followers and the Instagram. And trust me, you got trophies for that in terms of followers and subscribers. Well, Jordan's been putting in the work on the water. Yeah, you got to give you your credit too, because you guys are not working. You're working towards something different than what Jordan is. But Jordan was doing the tournament thing, working hard on that. And when I first met Jordan, he was just a few years ago, just kind of getting into it. And, he got a Crescent Shoal. Stay with us on the Susquehanna. Was that the event that you zeroed, Jordan? That wasn't the event you zeroed.
I believe it was 2 years
maybe
before
2 years before that.
The event that I was with you, we actually had like 7 or 8 guys in the house cash a check. And that
was pretty good. Whoa, but so give us a timeline, okay? Because I want to know, we want to hear this story from the very beginning. When you first started this, how old were you? And kind of where did you start? Local club, national? Did you jump into it? And then kind of just give us a quick story leading up to now.
Yeah. So actually, my first tournament ever was, I believe, back in 2022 on the Susquehanna River. And I'd only been kayak fishing for about a year to a year and a half. And I jumped right into a giant national event. It was Hobie BOS back in the day. And let's just say I made a major mistake because I had never fished for river smallmouth before. I went out there with some hopes and dreams, and they got crushed pretty quick when I got off the water the second day of the tournament. I actually ended up zeroing on one of the best river systems in the country, which I didn't think was possible at the time, but we did.
Anything's possible, brother.
Yeah. And then
That's wild.
all the way to now. I mean, I started out when I was younger playing soccer primarily, and then kind of once I started into the tournament scene, I just couldn't get it out of my head. Like I just always wanted to be fishing, and it really pushed me to where I am now, just because like that grind of I always want to be better. And like the first couple of years of fishing, I just couldn't put any of the pieces of the puzzle together, and I just felt like I was doing everything wrong. And one major lesson I learned from that was fish your strengths. Don't try and force something to happen, because a lot of times like you might be able to catch a decent bag like trying to throw a koiki up shallow. Like for me, that's something that I've been working on, and it's been working a little bit, but the chatterbait's been doing better for me recently. So
nice.
Been sticking to that.
Yeah, so let's talk more about that, fish your strengths, because that's a topic that has come up on the show multiple times. I feel like a lot of anglers with less experience on the water, like, what do we classically do? We're like, I don't know what I'm going to need, so I bring everything. And then when you have everything, you have too many decisions to make. So I'd be curious, Jordan, you're saying like, hey, fish your strengths. Like how much tackle are you bringing down to the water? How do you help yourself with that ability to focus on just like a few select things that are your strengths?
So generally, for the most part, if I have the opportunity to practice, I'll narrow it down to a couple of different baits, and I'll bring some backup baits with me in the kayak. But a lot of times I just keep 2 or 3 tackle boxes in my black pack to keep that load light in the back of the shoalie. And I think the last like 10 tournaments that I've cashed checks in, I've narrowed it down to just any sort of moving bait, just power fishing up shallow, such as like chatterbait, spinnerbait.
My kind of guy.
Some top water, some top water action in there as well.
Yeah.
A quick and chicken.
No,
I heard about it today.
Hey, top water koiki's been playing for me a little bit in the past couple of weeks, so it's been fun.
There you go.
Yeah,
that is pretty crazy. Jeff and Paul weren't at the Bass U brunch, but that's sort of a point that I was making with Jeff. Jeff can power fish fast. He does it differently than I do, but he also is very good at slowing down and being methodical and picking stuff apart and fishing slow. And he talks a little slower than me. He moves a little slower than me. You can just see his personality. He has the potential to do it. I can't even like do it. So, which is what I was joking to the anglers at the Bass U brunch, what Jordan's saying, I think is pretty good. You've got to sort of, at the beginning of fishing, you hear about all these different ways that are just crushing it, right? That people are catching fish, and you're trying to do them all and learn, like, where do you fit? And I'm just so spastic and fast. I can't fish slow, even if I want to. So Jordan, I think it sounds like you just eventually sort of just figured out, because I'll be honest with you, I'll do a seminar this winter. I'll have I probably use like 5 or 6 baits all year, like that, just 5 or 6 bait, maybe different weights of them, different colors, maybe different trailer on something or whatever. I mainly just use 5 or 6 baits. It's about covering the water column, but I'm going fast all the time, power fishing. And you just got to figure out your strength. And it sounds like, Jordan, you've kind of nestled into, you're a little bit more of that power fishing if you had to like lean one way or the other, which is pretty cool, because you're also, obviously the size of a power forward. So power forward, power fishing, swish, Kobe. Anyway, how tall, someone was asking, how tall are you, Jordan?
I am 6'8", so not
6'8",
of the
okay.
short breed
Gosh,
whatsoever.
You just put your feet up against the that hatch on the shoalie. You don't even bother with the
So
foot pegs?
essentially, I have my foot pedals all the way forward, and I can only turn so much. And in some river scenarios and heavy current, it does kind of bite me in the butt sometimes. But for the most part, I'm able to handle it. And I actually prefer the shoalie over my Hobie PA14, which people call me crazy for it. But I feel so much more comfortable in my shoalie.
Yeah, it's a good one. I mean, super maneuverable, especially in a river. You know what I mean? Like, it's
right.
People that get in that boat and they understand a little bit about paddling and the skills it takes and the hole design and why that's better, man, they get into another boat after that when they have, noticed the difference. I'm glad you're able to, you've kind of like learned and gotten to that point, graduated in your kayak fishing career where you can tell and understand why it is an advantage in the river. And first and second, I'll shout out, hey, I designed that boat, so I'll give it some love here, I guess. But first and second, I got to say, it was pretty cool. On a river event, you and Josh were both in Shoalie, so congrats to you guys. And that made me super excited that I had a little sliver of help in that as well. But
I feel like you need a 13-foot edition, though, at this point, Drew.
The muskie.
The muskie.
We got the Smallie. We got the Shoalie.
We have talked about that. We have talked about that. It doesn't become as
husky.
good of a riverboat. I'll tell you that. I mean, but the bigger you get, but it still but it could become a bigger riverboat,
Yeah, I mean, 12'4", somewhere in there.
That's a
Well,
pike.
A little bit wider. Yeah, I see.
That's the pike, and
We
then we
can do
go
that.
with a 13.6.
The muskie.
12 and a half,
muskie.
a pike.
The muskie.
I've always thought too, if you make a bigger one, you could call it a Shoalie pre-spawn edition. See, it's just bigger and fatter and
Well,
wider.
that's going to be the 30. That's going to be the
wide
38-inch wide one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
An XTR River edition in this thing.
Yeah,
The
basically.
XTR River edition.
It would be like a negative XTR.
Yeah.
Basically.
The anti-TR.
I was surprised how well the XTR paddled. Like, I wasn't expecting that when I
It's because
tried.
you sit high. A lot of those wider kayaks, when you sit up high, it negates a lot of the width. Like that's why the
You need, like, a
new
real long
canoes, you
paddle.
can
You get your
actually,
paddle over.
yeah, the new canoe actually
Yeah.
paddles fairly well. It's flat, especially if you have any kind of, you got your motor down and you get a little tracking. It's not terrible. It's not as bad as it should be. It's because you're sitting up way
Yeah.
high in that Millennium seat.
Yeah, it's true. Back to Jordan, this power fishing. The Chatterbait was the ticket. That's another KS sponsor. So I joked with Jordan in text message, like, dude, you were all KS sponsored out. You got the Crescent Shoalie, the Z-Man Chatterbaits. He's using a Newport. They're on as a sponsor starting last year and again this year. Black Pack, Bending Branches paddle. He just had everything, which is pretty cool to see because it obviously all works
Cast
really
King
well.
reels as well.
Cast King reels. Yeah, I didn't
Gosh
even
dang.
realize that.
Which ones?
Yeah, which one?
The Mega Jaws.
The
I know,
Mega
uh,
Jaw. All right.
I assume 9-1
I
Yep.
appreciate it.
Yeah.
Power
There you go.
fishing.
Got to get that
Power
speed for
fishing.
that power fishing. That's true. Hey, rumor has it there could be a faster MGTI coming out. We'll see. Maybe even ALTI. I don't know. But MGTI, I'm hearing rumor it could be
Even
happening.
eights,
We're getting close to
nines.
ICAST. I don't know if it's true or not. Or if
That's a
it's
lot of
supposed to-
titanium if they did it with a spool and not the gear.
Yeah. It's true. It's true.
Up
But that
the
anyway,
titanium.
It's literally just like a giant.
just
Remember what's the
Pure
cube? What's the
titanium.
cube? The titanium cube. It's just one of those melted.
But the Chatterbait, let's talk about it because I just had this article come out in Bassmaster magazine on the Chatterbait. I did this flow chart. It's crazy, very hard to figure out. So it's kind of good timing that you used Chatterbait to win this event. You were talking about using a 3/8 ounce Chatterbait instead of a half, which you prefer a lot of the times. I love using all the different weights. Honestly, it's just I'm really particular, and I'll change a little bit by a little bit. But tell us about the trailer you used and why you used the 3/8 ounce. Because I didn't give you I wanted to give you more time on stage, and I should have given you more. But dude, that Max 2 battery was about to die. I wanted to get to the handhold moment before it did, which we got there. But then after that, I'm glad you prodded me to have you talk a little bit more because at that point we already had our moment on camera with the winning moment, I guess. So tell us a little bit more about what you were trying to get into and told us a little bit about on stage about going lighter and how you think that may have been like this subtle key to taking the win.
Yeah. So just a little bit of local knowledge going up there. It's a time of year that they're coming fresh off like they spawned, I believe, about a week and a half before the event. So
There were still some on beds. I found
Yep.
so there's a few.
Yeah, and there was still like a bunch of fry garters under foam mats and all this good stuff. And what I noticed in practice was I started out throwing a 1/2 ounce chatterbait, and I started having some follows. But what I noticed was that a lot of the time when they started following it, it was directly as it was the sound of that bait hitting the bottom of the river, and it was a really weird deal. Like I'm just gonna drop the ramp I was at the Narrows, and I started picking up on some super small like little keys that were like, okay, I need to switch this up a little bit. And I tied on a 3/8, and I started burning it. Like that Mega Jaws, you can burn a chatterbait like no other reel out there, besides a Revo Rocket. But I don't know. I'm not a big fan of Abu Garcia, so I'm just going to say that. But yeah. And then
waking it, basically waking it on the surface.
Yeah, I started out that way. I had a couple actually blow up on it in practice, and I had a lot of short strikes. So I got up to some faster moving water on a fairly large shoal up there, and noticed how they were setting up. They were sitting in like isolated rock in the main like white water. Like it was just a giant at the narrows. It was a giant seam coming down, and there was like 3 like isolated rocks that were fairly large and noticeable. And I started casting up into the current and just bringing it back with the current, and I'd have a ton of fish follow it back to the kayak. And I was like, why aren't they biting, this and that? I changed trailers up. I ended up finding out that the chatter spike was working the best, but I had to change up how I was approaching it. So I'd actually motor up into the eddy. There was a giant eddy on the left side of the river, and I'd sit there and I'd shoot off out into the main seam of the current, and I'd drift down and I'd cast across the rock, and I'd have to hit it like on the money. I'd almost bet money that their nose was sitting directly behind that rock. Like, I mean, it had to have been touching it. Because another thing that keyed me in practice was there was a lot of small fish and some of the smaller isolated rock kind of farther back in the slower moving water, and I ended up snagging like 3 12-inch smallmouth just burning a chatterbait beside the rocks and not even like seeing him sitting there. And I'm like, okay, so they're like really tight on these rocks. So I went back up, floated that stretch again with those 3 big isolated rocks, and kind of approached it the same way, casting across the current and retrieving it in. And you had to almost like time it to where you cast your bait up enough that you can bring it behind the rock without getting too far back from the rock, and you don't have the fish don't even see it. And that was definitely something that I keyed in on. And going into the tournament,
by the rock, you said, so basically you had to go just almost like right by the rock and like hit it.
Yeah, so, like you almost had to work it right on the back side of the rock, and it was kind of a unique deal. I love doing that, and it worked. So I wasn't going to change it. Unfortunately, Friday they did set up a little bit different for me. They were in a lot slower moving water. I caught 2 or 3 key fish. Like my goal going into a Kayak Adventure Series event is just to get 3 quality bites a day, because that's all you need. And I did that both days. I mean, the second day of the tournament was just a smash fest for me. I probably caught 35, 40 fish, and I only had probably like 6 fish that even cold. And it was like kind of some slow coals until I get up to that 19 1/4 I caught like right after 12. And another cool thing too about the tournament was that I was actually, Josh was in second. We did that float kind of in the lower section of the river on the second day. And we were fishing within 20 to 30 yards of each other for most of the day. And until the end of the day, we were actually just sitting like 10 foot from each other, just casting at the same stuff, working because we had nowhere else to go, and it was the only good water we had left. And we just made it happen and made it work. And all 3 of us Josh managed to get 3 good bites. Jimmy, my team partner, managed to catch like a 20 1/2. And then I managed to catch a 19 1/4 and a couple of 18s that definitely played and helped win that thing.
Yeah. We got that video. Awesome. Jimmy sent that one in. Owen, we can pull up this photo. Maybe Jake's gone, but he knows where it's at. I might can pull it up here in a minute. But Owen caught our 14-year-old youth angler caught a 22 in practice, and it was his PB, and not just his PB. It probably would have beaten most people's PB in the tournament. You know what I mean? Like 22. But Josh, speaking of second place, Josh Weist, he got a 21 1/2 in the tournament, and the 22-inch fish was the not Owen's, but a 22-inch largemouth from Rudy was the big bass. But while I'm actually bringing up this stuff, I will just quickly share the screen and show you guys the last thing here that that we need to quickly cover, which kind of ties in here, is if you go scrub all the way back up all these photos, go to the recap article. It's up. So if you click on best way to get to it is just right here. Jordan Lovejoy sweeps Juniata Regatta, jump starts the AOY race. Check this out, guys. We got cool videos here, cool pictures. The whole story, we kind of have it. So our internet's kind of slow here. Hang on. Can you guys see it? There we go. It's coming up. There it is.
Yes.
It's coming up now. Okay. And it's all here. It's coming up kind of slow, but you guys can read the whole story. See all the photos. The big bass from Rudy is right here. I don't know why my internet is just not. Yeah.
Probably coolest bass I've ever seen.
There we go. There we go. That's the 22.
Whoa.
Whoa. What's going on here?
Gosh,
got
dang.
something. You guys.
You can tell he's long arming it. He's long arming it too. And it's still, it looks like it's the length of him because of how.
Yeah,
how
it really does.
It. The thing is,
he was on a 360 cam, so it kind of gave it that fisheye. But 21 and a half, this is Josh's big one. And
nice.
You can see this is a video. I'm not going to click it. You guys can watch a short video. This was the ramp. I believe the majority of the field launched at this ramp on the second day. And we joke because they all took off. And it really was the Juniata Regatta. I mean, it was literally like this.
It's 20 right
just
there.
Ships ripping down. There's Jordan and his setup in that shoulder we talked about. So it's a really cool article. Hank does a great job with these.
In your chest, man. Your knees are way up.
They're not that far up in his chest.
It's a decent size, but it's not a small boat.
I mean, you don't want your legs. Man. You want them locked like that. You don't want them like straight anyway. That's about how my knees look. But
he's like in full pedal position there too with the motor.
Yeah.
Wow.
So all the photo galleries, of course, are there, but the drone stuff, and then to get to Owen's fish, and there's the micro bag. Josh Brewer, by the way, he has a record now, 26 inches on the micro bag. 26 guys,
dang,
including multiple fives.
God.
26. He almost had the unbelievable. But there's Owen's
almost
22.
Perfect.
There it is, guys. He caught it in practice, and if you were doubting if it's actually 22, there it is on the board. So,
geez,
that fish has seen some stuff.
Yeah, that fish has definitely seen some stuff.
That fish has seen some stuff. That's awesome.
But I did want to say, like, one other cool thing about the story, Jordan. I appreciate you sharing that tip. In the Bash U brunch, I talked about my strategy, my style is to run your bait as close to the structure as you can. Because when they're ambushed, they're hiding on there. Even if they're not feeding, they're just chilling there. I mean, they're usually hiding like that to potentially feed if something comes by. Otherwise, they don't need to be hidden, right? But if they're hidden like that, if you go super close to it, like Jordan talked about, it forces them to react, okay? And that is what I think you were doing. And then Jeff gave a little tip. Now, I want to ask you this question because Jeff gave a tip in the Bash U brunch. He said, did this ever cross your mind to switch to a small crankbait with little trebles? Because he said after the spawn, they're used to chasing off bluegill off the beds for weeks, right? And just kind of fry guarding and chasing bluegill off when they're making the bed and all that stuff. And then when they're done, they feed. For some reason, they have the same nipping tendencies. And he switches to a crankbait, little teeny crankbaits with little trebles, and they nip, they get hooked, and he catches them. I'm curious, did that ever cross your mind? Because you said on the stage that they were nipping a lot, they were missing it. And I was never going to bring this up. You can't criticize somebody who just walked away with the first place trophy. Right. You did everything right because you won.
You could have done better.
I'm curious. I'm curious. Yeah. Could you have had 100, dude? Come on. You really blew it.
Yeah.
Come on. Did that ever cross your mind?
It did. I will say, I was telling the guys at the house all week that I was saying, like, they tried to follow me and throw a chatterbait because I'm not one to hide information from everybody. And in practice, I kind of just share whatever. And I had a lot of fish nip at it, but I noticed that they were the right fish. And every once in a while, I'd have like little flurries where I'd catch 4 or 5 quality fish in the same stretch of river. And it was, for me, they still had that post-spawn tendency, like you said, to chase your baits and this and that. But I downsized my trailer to that chatter spike, and I noticed like it was like a night and day difference. Like I could tell in the first hour and 20 minutes of practice that slimmer profile, color played a little bit of a role. But to be honest, I kind of changed it up. I use there's the Evo tungsten, where it's the half black and blue, half green pumpkin. I found that was the best bait for me, because normally I have 4 or 5 chatterbaits tied on. I did for the tournament, but I only ended up throwing one setup, and I was able to. The water clarity would kind of shift throughout the river, and I noticed that the fish behavior when I got into the muddier water was a little bit better, even though it was super slack water. And then on top of that, when I get into the faster moving stuff, I think a lot of the fish were sitting lower to the bottom, so most of what they were seeing was like a natural color to them, like where you have that green pumpkin on the bottom, you just have a little bit of variation in the skirt on the top, and I feel like that made a huge difference for me. And I might be like over analyzing that, but like I noticed a big difference throughout practice into the tournament.
Yeah. Well, I wonder if a lot of the ones that you really got and they got it good were the ones that were just the closest to the bowl you ran it, and it forced them to really get it, as opposed to the other ones that they were 5 or 6 feet away and they were on a boulder that was under the water that you didn't even know was there, and it just pulled them out, and then they chased it and you just saw them chasing it. Maybe those are the ones that, but
and I tried to make the crankbait deal happen. I caught a couple of fish on one of Jeff Little's crankbaits actually on Friday. And it didn't produce the size that I was looking for, and then I would switch right back to the chatterbait and catch like a 17 to 19 inch fish, and it was like I just got to keep doing this and grinding it out.
Be stubborn. Dude, I'm with you, man. I try to stay stubborn to catching them on single hook baits as long as I can until I just cannot catch them on, a chatterbait or a spinnerbait or a swim bait or a buzz bait or something that has single hooks. I'm like so stubborn that I'll pretty much just do it until the wheels fall off the entire tournament train for me. And sometimes it does happen, but it's very rare. Eventually I can figure out some fish somewhere that'll hit something big, because here's the deal. When you get them hooked, they're not coming off. Most of the time, they are not coming off. They're getting, 30-pound sunline, boat flipped in the boat. And anyway, but a strategy, I want to change the topic slightly. Then we'll bring James in. Jordan, you can stay if you want. We'd love to have you stay and keep, listen to James's story, and then we can maybe
talk
chat a little
trash,
bit
all that stuff.
Yeah. But the strategy is what I want to know, because you haven't just done good this year in KS, 8th place, and then now at first, and then who knows what is coming up in a couple more events maybe, and how you could enter that AOI race you're in it now, but you don't have 3 like everybody else does, so you're about to really be in it with one more good finish. So the question is, what has changed from that beginning of that, 4 or 5 years ago when you told us that 2022 story? Decision making in tournaments, or just time on the water, experience, or just doing more online research, talking to other anglers? What's been, or all the above, what's kind of made the change? Because you've done really good in Bassmaster this year as well. I mean, and even last year you've popped in some good events. So you've definitely got more consistent and raised your floor. So tell us anything that you can think of tournament wise and strategy wise that you're doing now.
Yeah, I feel like for me, it's been all of the above of what you just said. Like, for me, it's honestly embracing the grind out on the water. Like, when I go fish now, I truly put in the work. No matter if I'm going out fun fishing, I'm trying to figure out new techniques, trying to figure out how I can work them into my rotation that I have now. And over the last couple of years, I think time on the water has definitely played for me. Like, once I quit playing other sports and kind of put this to like my full-time commitment besides my job at home here. But like when I'm down at school, obviously I prioritize school in a way like to where I can get by. But
I like the air quotes on I prioritize school.
Yeah.
What's the minimum GPA I need here with people?
I'm a good student, but I mean, being down there on the TVA system,
F stands for fish.
Yeah.
On the report card.
Sir, you failed.
Or did I?
But
all right, sorry.
Did
No, you're good. I was gonna say, being down on the TVA system down there, kind of Tennessee, Alabama, all that stuff, has really allowed me to kind of hone in certain techniques, because you have access to so many different bodies of water that you can approach so many different ways. And I feel like that's when stuff really started to click for me. Like, I came into college at Carson Newman, and I felt like I had a general idea of what I was doing, but then I'd go against Ewing Minor and be like, I have no idea what I'm doing. Like, this dude has it all figured out. And kind of through the years, I learned some things from him. I'd watch him kind of go out there and scope, but also dominate in the shallow side when he has to. And I saw how much the shallow stuff can play, even with you, Drew. Like, you were doing it before before I even knew about the sport of kayak fishing. You were out there just dominating, and I just realized, like, even staying with you, like, you see how much the shallow stuff plays. Like, yes, it doesn't win every tournament like a lot of the scope does, but you have the opportunity. Like, I really appreciated what Steve-O did this year and put a lot of fisheries on the schedule that for Bassmaster that could have been dominated by shallow water, like power fishing, and they were. And then I come and find the Kayak Adventure Series, and I'm like, you can dominate power fishing up shallow anywhere in this series because you put so many different types of bodies of water on. Like, just say when we went to the Juniata, you had 3 or 4 smaller lakes in play that if the lake guys wanted to go do their lake thing, I mean,
Right.
Raystown is not a small lake, but
yeah, but you can do it on the smaller lake. So that's true. I mean, we want to make sure that the essence of kayak fishing really stays in this series. You know, we're never going to let it get where the electronics and technology are going to just dominate when we have enough, like you said, shallow water, you know, rivers and lakes and creeks and ponds that we'll always have a balance. So that's pretty cool, man. I've seen the change in your decision making for sure. It's big. It's really kind of evident you're more confident in the decisions you're making because of the experience. And I think we should bring James in here and hear a little bit about his story, because as fun as your story was catching smallmouth, you know, on a river on a chatterbait, James over here catching big largemouth on a buzzbait on a lake, which is power fishing, which is what we just talked about. James, tell us a little bit about the story, man, how you pulled off the great Midwest of us too on that buzzbait, because you, as far as I know, you really weren't using any electronics, or were you?
No, not really. I mean, I went into that. Well, first of all, thank you guys for having me. It's great to be on here.
Hi, James. Welcome to the show. Drew, we got to welcome our guests.
Yeah. Welcome.
But yeah, I went into that event. So that lake is, I mean, it's very much a shad lake. Like, if they're schooling on shad, that's how you're going to catch them. If they're not, it can be really tough. The conditions set up perfect for, you know, there's south wind blowing right into the area. They like to school on them. And yeah, we went out there. A bunch of us guys knew, like, the area, have fished the lake before, and normally you can crush them on a chatterbait, but nothing. I mean, nobody. I think a couple guys caught maybe 15 inches on it. I caught a couple 14s on a chatterbait, but it was dead. Everybody was struggling. So I decided just started fishing around, figuring something out. I think 2.5 hours in, I had 1 14 and a 15, something like that. But then and the water temperatures weren't there yet for them to spawn or anything like that. But I thought, you know, maybe they might already be moving up or staging. I can't exactly remember what the water temperature was. I think it was like 63, 64, something like that. But and then I picked up a buzzbait. I was like, man, conditions are setting up perfect for it if they are shallow. There was a bunch of grass, not quite topped out. It was perfect for a buzzbait, but I think 2 casts in, I caught like a 16. I kept going, and then that 22-incher.
Yeah, this one.
Yeah, that it's funny about that fish. We were a couple of guys were talking. There's been a ton of 21s, 21 and a halves caught out of that lake, but never a 22. And yeah, then that thing showed up. But nice. I caught it right on the edge of a very shallow grass line. It's probably like 2.5 feet deep. So that lake creates almost all the way around it. It creates like a grass line in 2.5, 3 feet of water. But then it has hard bottom. How would you say? It's like the next 10 from the bank to that grass line is about 10 yards, and it's all hard bottom. And they were staging right on the outside of that grass line, and that's pretty much what I did the rest of the event. I would just keep casting on the edge of the outside and the inside of that grass line, And shout out to that specific buzzbait, the Evergreen LB buzzbait. That thing, maybe it's just around here, I don't know, but it catches them really good in shallow water.
Everywhere.
Yeah,
it's an evergreen.
Yeah, I recently discovered Evergreen.
Oops.
I think it was like a month before that event, and I love
sold
all
your house now.
I bought about.
It's like as good as finding mega bass for the first time.
Yeah.
Maybe worse in certain circumstances. But good stuff. Very good quality. Very expensive.
Yes, very expensive. Yeah, but I think I caught all my fish in that. Well, except for one on that buzzbait. I went to Sandy Cooper. I caught 3 out of my 5 fish on that buzzbait there. I think I caught about 55, something like that. I tried to keep track in the 50s.
Is that Bassmaster Santee?
Yeah.
Okay, yeah, I didn't fish that one. But yeah, I didn't realize you went to that one. That's cool. That you went there as well. So, yeah, buzzbait is definitely a big fish bait. It calls them up, and you showed it. But one question I had is kind of what we were talking about with Jordan. Like, what's a little bit of your history in tournaments? Like, how many years you've been doing this, and is this unexpected to win one, or have you had a pretty good track record of some top finishes and you knew you could do it? Give us a little history on that.
I definitely knew I could do it. I've done really well in northern Indiana in general, but especially in northern Indiana. I think I have 25 tournament wins up here, local tournaments and then state tournaments, stuff like that. So I felt pretty confident going in. But this is my 4th year bass fishing in general, not just kayak fishing. So my family used to travel around and stuff. I've always loved fishing. I fished for just about anything in freshwater, but until 4 years ago, I never really bass fished, and settled back here, and I was like, I need to find a hobby. And I'd always liked watching Greg Blanchard, his videos and stuff. I was like, that looks fun. So I got into local tournaments and stuff, and yeah, the last 3 years I've been fishing local stuff, and this was the first year I fished in the Kayak Adventure series and done some Bassmaster events. So been a lot of learning. Still got a long way to go, but it's been a lot of fun. I love it. Yeah,
4 years for both of these guys, because Jordan said 2022 also. So in 4 years, this is where we, this show is a lot of like intermediate, little beginner people that are nervous about fishing tournaments, and KS is a great entry sort of tournament to get into. Beginner. I mean, I know Jordan just jumped right into a Hobie BOS, but KS is a little like less intimidating. You got a Friday afternoon session and then a Saturday, and if you don't catch anything on Friday, it doesn't matter. I mean, you're just fishing for 5 fish between both of the days. So this to me is like, hey guys, in just a couple years, 2, 3, 4 years, you could be at that level where you could pop at any tournament. You could win. You have enough experience to start putting together. Some people they fish a few tournaments, they get discouraged, and they don't ever fish anymore. They don't ever get over that hump. And I just want to encourage you guys, if you stick with it just a little bit, then you'll get there. And I love putting on these events and giving you guys the chances to have these memories, because I mean, as much as I love fishing fishing tournaments and winning them, it always kind of bothered me and hurt me that I couldn't continue on that river bass and tournament trail. And it had its issues because it would flood, and then you couldn't reschedule. It was just challenging, and it was a lot of work, and it was just a little bit earlier than its time, or before its time, I should say, because it was rivers only. But with this format, we're never going to get flooded out, because Indiana's a great example. We had lakes inbounds and the rivers were high, and a lot of people couldn't fish them. They were too high, and I wouldn't say they weren't in flood stage technically, but they were very high, some of them. So this is a better format with the sport's grown, and I just love seeing you guys be able to take advantage of this series and fish the way you want to fish and get out there and do it with a buzz bait, in a river. It's awesome seeing this, man. But there was another. Oh, James, I was going to say one question. You had a great finish. You're not that far from Wisconsin. I mean, you've got a high. Are you considering coming up there and fishing that one, and then fishing broodstock in Tennessee, which isn't far to the south, to see if you can make a run?
Yeah, I am planning on fishing both of them. I haven't exactly checked what other tournaments. I don't think there are any. They don't coincide with any Bassmaster tournaments or nothing like that, I don't think. But yeah, I want to definitely make the Wisconsin one, and fingers crossed I can make the Tennessee one, because I will say everybody loved the Kayak Adventure Series format up here. I loved it. It was the best event I've ever been to as far as like awards and how you guys have done everything. I mean, it was awesome. I mean, not just saying that because I won. It was a great experience, and I definitely want to make more. I know there are guys around here I've talked to that they want to get Airbnb, stuff like that, and go to. So
do it.
I'll definitely see some more Indiana guys, I'm sure.
Yeah, it's definitely worth it. The trip. I mean, Jeff and Paul, you'll be up in Wisconsin, and you guys have fished it there before. You get how it's worth it. Just going. So just James, your question too. Bassmaster has an event. I'm fishing it. Wolf and Fox Rivers the weekend prior to KS in Wisconsin. So the cabin that we have, the lodging we've got with KS, we booked all those cabins. We have it starting Sunday night, so we can leave the Bassmaster event, drive an hour and 15 minutes, whatever it is, about hour and 15, hour and 20 minutes up to the cabins, have our lodging there for the week. And just, people can stay, because a lot of people aren't going to drive up to Wisconsin twice. You might be close enough where you could do it. And some people, in just the surrounding states, but most people probably can't. So that's when it is the weekend after. But, and it's going to be a fun event, the Bassmaster at Wolf and Fox. But if you look back at Hobie's results, I fished that tournament. I think I got sixth, but I mean, I had like 79 inches on day 2, and I got 6. I had like 91 on day 1. But the winner basically averaged like 90 a day, and then second place was in the upper 80s, 86, 87, 2 days. It's not like it's night and day. If you go an hour and 15, hour and 20 minutes further where we're going to be, you're going to need 100 inches to win that tournament up in Wisconsin. Like, no kidding. You're going to need 100 inches, which means you're going to be having a good time if you're in 10th, 12th, 15th, 30th place, because you're going to have like mid 80s, you know what I mean? Or upper 80s. It's going to be awesome. So you get ready for sure on this one. It's going to be fun. Lots of big fish are going to be caught. So
yeah, it sounds like a lot of fun. I might have to convince work to just give me a week off so I can do both at the same time without driving back.
Yeah, that's true. Maybe just cruise in for like a day of practice for Bassmaster, and then just wing it. And I mean, it's a river tournament, so anyone who fishes the rivers kind of knows what I mean by, dude, just go out there the day of and just fish the river. Just go river fish. And if you understand how to fish rivers, you will, stumble on those ambush points and figure it out. But that's what I'm going to do. Just have like a day to practice, maybe a day and a half, and then head straight up to our area and stay there and have a little fun fishing while you guys actually fish for more substantial prices than what I'm going to just fun fish. But anyway, so that's exciting to hear you're going to fish the rest of them. I guess the last question I have for James was, and then you guys chime in if you have any for any of these guys. The only last thing I just thought of is that lake that you went out of was like very notoriously exposed by an online, or really it's a grubby, or it was a grubby tournament, right? Which is like it's like a Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, Monday, I think, like a 4 or 5 day tournament. And in one afternoon, there was only 2 guys on the lake that fished Thursday, but one guy caught like over 100 inches in that lake. And anyone doing the research, everybody saw that. Okay, so the good news is, there's some big fish there. The bad news is everybody saw it right before a big national tournament. This goes back to what Jordan and I were talking about, decision-making. You can choose to like go there and just be the best of the rest or everyone else on that lake and try to just grind it out and get to 5 to win. Or you could say you could just scrap that whole lake knowing that it's going to get pounded in practice and during the tournament. What made you think that you could somehow pull it off in that lake?
Well, trust me, I did going the week before the event. I had my doubts. I considered pre-fishing other areas and stuff. But the thing about Worcester is it's so, how would you say, it can be extremely tough. If you don't know what they do there, you can go 3-4 hours without a single bite. But when the bite turns on, you can have 90, 100 inches in half an hour. The lake sets up, it has so much standing timber, grass, rock, a little bit of everything, but it is just so full of shad that the bass don't really set up on anything else. They follow the schools. And so you could bank fish, you could go around that lake 5 times and not get a bite until, the conditions set up right where the shad go shallow and so does the bass, or you can try scoping for them. I know they do have boat tournaments on there, and and guys say the same thing. You know, you can scope for them, but they will not bite unless it's their time. But I knew with a south wind, it was a warmer day, stuff like that. That is usually the best day for worster. I knew. I found a couple areas in practice where the grass made little channels and stuff like that, where they love funneling bait into them, and I thought that would be the winning pattern, how it would get there, but it ended up not being. I got lucky and found out, what the bite was. But yeah, I mean, I just had confidence that, if I was patient, because that's what that lake mainly is patience. And that's the biggest thing I've learned in the last 4 years is if you can't be patient, you're not going to do well in bass fishing. And that's what a lot of people do. I know for a fact that tons of people pre-fish that lake the week before, or not the week before, but the week of. And a lot of the people that I know pre-fish didn't end up fishing there because they didn't catch nothing. They struggled so bad. And I think the reason is a lot of people just beat the bank all the way around in a circle, and they just didn't wait for for that bite to turn on, and then try to find locations to where they're schooling on shad and stuff like that. That makes sense.
Well, that's interesting. So I think the two keys were schooling fish are kind of like they're not homebody fish by this one laydown, right? So if people are practicing a lake that's got the laydown, that's that big, largemouth's home, and they catch it, then maybe it's not biting the next day or it's very weary. But schooling fish are the opposite. You don't know where they're going to be. They haven't all been caught, obviously. And then the other thing was the grass. Grass fish are random, so no one could have caught all the grass fish either. But they probably did hit the fish that were on those, actual obvious like blowdowns and stuff like that, and brush piles, or obvious maybe grass spots maybe, but not the stuff that you just knew you needed 5. You didn't need 10. Wasn't a 2 fish like a Bassmaster format, so you need just 5. So smart move, man. I mean, I'd rather be, I guess, where the big fish are, knowing the winning fish are, and just grind it out and get 5 than just hoping I'm somewhere else catching more fish, but none of them are ever going to be the winning size. So that's
I will say what that second I can't remember his name, the guy that got second.
Josiah.
Yes, what he found was incredible. That was awesome. I mean, I know a lot of guys have fished that lake before, and that's another thing I should mention is the water around here was really high, and that definitely helped the bite out for topwater. This spring, topwater has been winning everything as the water's been up. But yeah, what he found was incredible. If they hadn't been moving up, I think, and waiting to spawn at Worcester, I think he would have ran away with it, because that was really
it was
cool.
ridiculous. And he lost that one fish. He won the D-Hooker, unhooked by D-Hooker award for losing a giant that was 20 plus. Yeah. And he, I don't think that would have quite put him, unless it was like a 21 or 22, which it could have been. It's huge. If you guys haven't watched that. I mean, but yeah, that was a fun one, man. And fun to see, it's just fun to see in all these KS events, like different bodies of water coming into play, because man, Scrivener on the river was catching big smallmouth that even as high as it was. And I thought he was going to pull away with it. He caught like a 20, 19 something or 20 on Friday already. So it could have, it's just cool to see the different strategies you guys use to pull it off. And I'm jealous because I don't get to fish the events, and it's like I'm taking you guys all these incredible places, but it's super just exciting when it starts. I tell Jake, him and I just joke, like all the work's kind of been done at that point. I don't even know what to do with myself. I'm running around like crazy trying to make sure everyone's okay and checked in and everything's set up properly and the public's aware what's going on. And then all of a sudden you guys go out and I'm just like, what do I do with myself? And we start watching like fish come in, and it's so exciting, man, to see, all the different ways that it's done on KS. So I cannot wait to see what happens in Wisconsin, because it's going to be another, like, you got Green Bay, you got the inland lakes, you got the inland rivers and creeks, and all of them have giant smallmouth and some big largemouth too that can play. So it's going to be wild to see how that's won and which strategy. So you guys got any other thoughts or questions?
I got 2 from chat we can throw in here, and there was one earlier on that they were throwing at James, and the question was about the buzzbait. So you're throwing the evergreen. No, you're already through that. Did you have a trailer on there? Was what somebody asked in chat.
Yes, I kept the trailer pretty simple, just the Zoom Buzz Toad. But the color of it was so I'll say I went through white and went through black, and they were getting bites, but all my big bites came on green pumpkin, a black blade with a green pumpkin trailer. For some reason that combination worked really good, got the biggest bites. And I put it on because I ran out of the others.
The
so
wins.
I was not planning on a buzzbait bite that evening.
Yeah.
So before I had caught that 22, I had 2 buzz toads in white, and then the rest were green pumpkin, and I went through those white ones in like 3 fish. I threw on that green pumpkin, and 2 casts later, I caught that 22-incher. I don't know why. Maybe there weren't really bluegill or anything up shallow, but it worked.
Yeah.
Did you say a trailer hook was on it too, or just the trailer?
Just the trailer. So
okay.
that buzzbait, man, it has such a good hookup ratio, and I was fishing it literally right through grass and stuff, and it wasn't getting hung up, so I couldn't really use a trailer hook. But I didn't lose a single fish on that thing all weekend. I mean, the hookup ratio on it was incredible. I don't know if it's just the buzzbait itself or the rod. I had the St. Croix workhorse. I was using that. But yeah, when it's just one of those tournaments when things go right, they're going right.
Yeah, that's usually the way tournaments are won. Jordan, have you ever considered putting a trailer or experimented with chatterbait trailer? Because I know that you're saying they were nipping. I know people, not trailer hook. A lot of people use trailer hooks on chatterbaits when it gets like that. I've never done it. There's a lot of eelgrass in that river sometimes, and to me, it's one more thing to get hooked up with eelgrass and stuff like that. But if you're fishing out in the middle and there's not a lot of that, do you experiment with that, or ever have you?
So I have in the past. This time of year, I try to handle the fish in the best way possible, just because they're at kind of their most vulnerable time of the year, especially around the tributaries and on the Susquehanna. They're fresh off spawn. Water's warming up quick, so I always like to kind of take care of the fish. And in the past, when I've experimented with some of the trailer hooks, like, yes, you'll catch some of the fish that nip at it that you miss otherwise. But for me, like, it's just grinding it out. And I felt like I had a higher chance at like fish mortality if I were to use a trailer hook, just because the ones that really got the chatterbait, really got it. Like there was one fish, it was at 19 3/4. I was like sitting there and I get it in the kayak, I get it in the net, and I'm like, where is my chatterbait? And I like go and I grab the fish and I look down and I'm like, holy, like it looked like it was a jig fish. Like it was just all the way down. And I was like, it had a fairly small mouth too for it being a 19 3/4. So I just kind of wrote that trailer hook off. I have in the past, like at Santee, I had a trailer hook on my chatterbait for the Bassmaster event. Lost some really, really key fish in practice there that kind of made me key in on that trailer hook, and helped out a little bit during the tournament, but the whole upper end of Marion got blown out. So it was...
I've never really used them much on chatterbaits, and hardly even on spinnerbaits. Honestly, I'm throwing so far up into the junk that I just don't want one other point to get hooked up. But anyway, what you got next, Jeff, in the chat? Or sorry, go ahead, Jordan.
I was going to say, to me, the trailer hook also affects the action of the chatterbait. I feel like it weighs it down differently, and it makes it kind of be a little bit more finicky trying to get that retrieve down.
Yeah, true. Yeah. We got one more here. This is Fishing the DMV. Says, and this is maybe a good one for everybody if they have something to throw in there from their local areas, your local bodies of water that you guys are fishing. But some people argue that kayak fishing helped put the Susky on the map and its tributaries as well on the national radar for bass anglers. Looking ahead, I'm getting crazy feedback. 1 second. I think that was James's. All right, fix the feedback. There we go. Sorry, James, I muted you. I'll unmute you when you answer. But looking ahead, what smallmouth river do you think could be next? Who do we want to go with first? Drew, you throw it out there. And then, Jordan spoke up, so we'll go Jordan.
Jordan,
next.
you go ahead, man.
Yeah. I was going to say, Thomas, I feel like this is a shot fired because I was actually on the Fishing the DMV podcast last night, and we touched on this a little bit. We just didn't talk about what river was next. And I had some choice words about what happened on the Susquehanna just because I've been seeing it over the last few years with it being so close to home.
Yeah.
But I feel like, I mean, they've already blown up the St. Lawrence, Susky. Let's see. I'm trying to think. I mean,
and the St. Lawrence is too far north to get people for kayak anglers. They just don't. I mean, trust me, we're going to one of the most epic places up there, and we won't have the numbers that we should have based on how good the fishing is. But anyway, St. Lawrence is epic too. It's just so far north. Eventually, we'll get there, but not yet.
I was going to say, honestly, with this Team Kayak Series Championship coming up, that's going to be on some smaller rivers in Tennessee that there's been a couple of national tournaments at, and I feel like they went there at a time where it was fishing good, but I feel like it's gotten better over the year. I feel like over the years it's going to be, for me, the Holston River. I feel like you're going to start seeing some just on that lake system there. Like you have Loudon. I feel like in the next couple of years we might see more kayak tournaments kind of go into some of those smaller rivers in Tennessee. I won't say specifically just the Holston, but a couple of rivers down there.
Holston, the French Broad that come together. Hobie was there for the TOC one year. I remember that was actually the year I won AOI for Hobie. It was there because I got 7th place at the championship tournament of champions, they called it. And I caught my last fish at like 2:57. I think it lines out was 3 or whatever it was. It's like 3 minutes to go. And I'm thinking, wow, whatever. I know I'm not going to win. I'm 7th place. But then somehow the only 2 people ahead of me in AOI, Russ and Jody, one of the days of the tournament, they did not get a limit. Each of them were short by 1 fish. And so, 7th place there ended up vaulting me all the way up into AOI. But I agree. That could be a good one. The one I was going to say is going to be like the James and the New. We went to the New and had a incredible turnout. I mean, like 110 combined unique anglers and between all the divisions. And it was epic. And we had the lake there. We had other lakes. Now, I know a real funky, weird situation with crazy low water and a smaller lake that happened to be drained on accident because apparently some worker let out water and it was like half the size. So Chris Anderson made a great strategy and stuck to that lake and won. But I mean, it's got giants and it's big enough river to handle it, especially because the question is, like, not many can hold Bassmaster events, but with our format, we can certainly do it. The New, the James, you've got like this Holston, French Broad, you've got some rivers that I think the Coosa system and Wetumpka and some areas like that could be possibly the next great sort of like destinations.
I like it. Let's go with James. I'm going to unmute you, James. Now's your chance. Now's your one shot. I'm kidding.
I honestly don't have, I don't think, enough experience and knowledge about rivers all over the country to really have an opinion. I mean, I would probably never heard of the Susquehanna if it wasn't for kayak tournaments, like you said. I don't know. What was the one the Elite Series was just at? Does that have a lot of tributaries? Does that have a lot of tributaries and rivers to it?
It does, and it would be great, but it's so far east on the coast that it's just tough to do those events. The Potomac and the Passwood stuff over there you're going to get a lot of local participation, regional, but people that drive from far away. And if you're a Bassmaster, you're going to get the numbers no matter what. I mean, but those are more like tidal, river systems, which are really cool. But I think there could definitely be some, and we did the Sholey Palooza, and there was three rivers in Georgia, and those have kind of been, people know about them. They're not like some secret now. They're pretty incredible. So that could be another one. There was another one I was just thinking of that could be good. I can't remember where it was. I was just thinking about one that would be really good. That was big too, but I'll think about it in a minute. And I mean, even the St. Joseph's up near you is a pretty good sized river as it goes all the way out.
Yeah.
But there was another really good one. I can't remember what it was that I'll bring it up here in a minute.
So I know there are a lot of rivers. I mean, all over Michigan, Wisconsin, even, Minnesota, places like that, where probably maybe haven't even ever had a kayak tournament before, or a tournament in general, that have incredible fishing. But yeah, I know Michigan specifically, they have some incredible rivers too, where it can take 100 inches to run it.
Oh yeah.
Michigan does have some good ones up there, like the All Sable, and there's some other really clutch ones that would be pretty big and big enough to make it happen. They have some lakes in it as well, kind of like this Menominee. It's got some lakes that part of it. But I was thinking about the Connecticut and the Delaware River. Both of those in the Northeast, once you get up above, away from the cities and the tidal part of it, it's really great smallmouth. I mean, you got the Hudson up there as well.
Yeah.
It's just better than people realize. But again, it's just, if we start getting 150 people coming to all these events, 150, 200 like Bassmaster, I don't mind going somewhere just every year, a couple places that are just so epic. And I don't mind if it's like, okay, we only get 100 people to come to those, because they're going to all be like, this was the trip of my life, man. Like, and then more and more people are going to see how much it was worth it up to Maine and Vermont and all these places that are just crazy, like up in northern Minnesota and Wisconsin. And, that it gives us the ability to keep going there as long as we're getting, 100 plus people to kind of come to some of those. So we'll see. We'll try to expose some, even the Mississippi River further down from where we were last year in Minneapolis, or the St. Cloud, all those sections between there and La Crosse are really good. And then below La Crosse, all the way to where the Wisconsin River comes in, and down below that, we had to cancel an event. We were going to do it. We switched locations. We will probably eventually go back there. We had scheduled it and we announced it, but we had to change it. It was Clinton, Iowa has a theater that's on an old riverboat that's dry docked now, but it's on the river still. So your theater is literally on an old riverboat. It'd be one of the coolest venues in terms of the awards ever, because we're on the actual river, and you can catch smallmouth and largemouth up there in those sections of the Mississippi River. So that's a good one.
I want to go. Can we go to more events like this, Paul? This sounds fun.
Deal.
Yeah. Yeah. All right, cool, dude. All right, we got any other questions for James or Jordan? I feel like there's been some pretty good lessons shared here. I think like the common denominator that you could pick up if you listen to this is episode 10 of the KAS AAA show, right? And like I feel the big common denominator is narrowing the scope. So you're focusing on like several different lures or techniques. You're not trying to fish everything all the time. Power fishing is a pretty common theme. Guys fishing shallow, like consistently doing very well. And then just putting the puzzle together. It's the time on the water. You struggled. You had a couple of tough tournaments. You're starting to figure this out by putting in the time, right? Time on the water beats everything. At some point, you're going to have that experience level to be more reflexive when you're on the water. You're like, oh, this scenario, this situation, I'm throwing this. And that only comes when you actually put in the time. So there's a couple big things.
No, this is great stuff. I forgot to say one last thing. I'm going to end on this. It's pretty cool because it applies to all of us here. And we always give out little Easter eggs on the identifiers. Did anyone notice what the identifier code was for day 1 and day 2? Did anybody notice that? And then what was the second day?
From which one? From Indiana?
No, from this event here.
From this event? Well, I wasn't there.
What was it? Hen? H-I-N or something?
Mud hen. Does anyone know somewhere between Michigan and Indiana, Ohio, it's kind of like equidistant between us three here?
The Mud Hens baseball?
What's that?
Mud Hens baseball?
Yeah, you might have figured out where we're trying to go. It doesn't mean it's always going to work out. We're in talks with different cities. We like to give you guys Easter eggs. And so just to let James know, because he was talking about how the Indiana guys love that format, and the Ohio guys, the great Midwest of us, the previous year love it as well.
Toledo.
And Michigan, that first year we went there, they absolutely showed up with 80-something plus people in the first year.
Yep.
What if we had something where, waters that are basically Michigan, Ohio, and I don't know if Indiana is a little too far for Indiana, but it's close enough. It's right there. You know what I mean? Where you just, it's a hop, skip, and a jump right across the border. So that could be a cool event. And what made me think about it was someone made a comment about the St. Clair River coming out of St. Clair. So that would be just out of bounds if that works out at that location, which is intentional because it would win. But there'd be some pretty interesting fishing inland in Michigan and in Ohio and on the bays and the wildlife marshes. in Ohio and in Michigan that have great largemouth fishing, as we know, from East West Harbor, which would be just out of bounds. But I just saying it could be a really unique. We love to go to new places and expose somewhere that nobody has history yet in terms of like there's no national event. No one really knows. And even the small little local events, they're never like they're just one of those little lakes or wildlife marshes or whatever. It's never like all this stuff. So it's a total open blank slate. No clue how it would get one if that works out. That could be pretty cool in Toledo.
Yeah, it's the Toledo Mud Hens is the local baseball team. You should go to a game if it's in the summer. That would be stupid awesome, actually.
That would be really cool.
Those games are they're cheap, they're fun. And that would be a cool area too. There's a lot of different water out there. South Michigan, it can be tough just because there's a lot of private, but if you're trying to fish the river or a public lake, it's not really a big issue. And the scenery can be really, really good too. So like even if you're getting skunked, you're not gonna be mad about where you're floating.
Yeah,
you're gonna be mad about
Lake Erie. Lake Erie harbors and all those little estuaries and places like the inland stuff that largemouth live in and the mouths of the rivers. It's a lot better than people realize.
Some a lot of different species too, actually floating around there too.
Yeah. Oh yeah, it's pretty cool. It's pretty cool for sure. I can't wait to kind of see if that location works out or not. If not, we'll go somewhere else. But Jordan, next time you get a C and you pass just good enough, next time you get a C on your report card, I'll end with this for you, buddy. C stands for Chapo. That means you're good enough and you can go Chapo.
C is not a claptail. Oh, claptail.
They're claptail. Yeah. C for claptail or choptail. You just.
I mean, for me, it's always standard for chatterbait. That's why.
Yeah, it's chatterbait. What are we talking about?
Yeah, that's true.
We're talking about topwater, Jeff.
Homie's only throwing chatterbaits right now. He's like, that's what he won on.
Passing grade, I'm chatterbaiting. C. Yeah, I blew that. I totally get it. Chatterbait would have been the most obvious one, but
at least you didn't say clicking chicken. It could have been.
That's true. I didn't say.
Oh God.
But
oh man. Anyway, all right.
Thanks,
this has been a blast. Really appreciate you guys hopping on here. James, Jordan, congrats on your wins, obviously. That's been fantastic. And this is how we like to wind down our shows. This is the segment where Paul takes over and he does a little slow rolling thunder, which I know he's been writing througut the show. So we should have some hot and fresh questions to end for our guests.
These aren't even fishing related. We talked a lot of fishing. We're going fully 720 degrees. We are not even totally different galaxy. I'm going to ask you guys to rank these 4 things, okay? And we go around the clock.
Hang on. Sorry,
James, you'll get your turn.
You'll get your turn when we call on you.
All right. These 4 things, you have to rank them. You got to have some kind of reasoning. Doesn't have to be deep, but it could be. The 4 things are golf, chopsticks, cheese, and pina colada. Rank them. Who wants to go first?
I guess I'll go first.
All right.
For me, it's gonna have to be golf last.
Ooh.
Just because of the fact that I've never really golfed. I go to Topgolf. I don't really like it. I remember as a kid, I saw one of my buddies actually like fall into the net off the edge of the Topgolf thing.
Topgolf?
So,
that is the least athletic thing I think I've ever heard in my life.
Did he swing and then just whip so hard?
He started off, it was mostly just a joke, and then he like actually got like, pretty tangled up in the net.
Oh my God.
Big ordeal.
They do sell adult beverages at those establishments. You can blame it on that.
And they do stop you if you try to do a Happy Gilmore wind up.
Unfortunately.
Fortunately. Are you kidding me? I don't
who likes fun. All right, golf last. Got it. Starting bottoms up. Okay.
And then what were the last? It was pina colada, chopsticks, and then
cheese.
In general, the whole category.
Okay. I'm gonna have to put cheese at third.
Wow, this is we're learning some things about some people today.
I don't have
controversial,
cheese.
But
now you got chopsticks and pina colada left.
All right.
And then second, I'm gonna have to put pina colada. I'm not gonna lie. I'm not the biggest fan of pineapple. Or like I guess the other part's coconut, right? I'm not.
Yeah, coconut and pineapple.
Oh, yeah.
Not a big coconut guy either.
But it still beat cheese. This is insane. All right,
Yes.
so what's number one?
Chopsticks is number one.
Chopsticks.
I will say cheese is a good snack on the water because I feel like it does kind of plug you up a good bit. Kind of
ideal.
Constipation, great.
Yeah.
I mean, you don't have to take it to Aquapoo. I mean, it's good, but chopsticks you can't eat on the water. So how'd they end up number one?
So dude, I'm gonna give chopsticks number one for the fact that this is going back to what I said earlier. The grind never has to stop. So I feel like you have to work for what you're doing, and I feel like chopsticks, like,
well, he went meta.
Shoot, I mean, so I'd sit there.
So deep.
I'd eat a bowl of rice with chopsticks. I mean, I'd sit there grain by grain picking it up because I feel like that's kind of what we do out on the water.
So that's how you pick it apart.
Pick it apart.
Excellent analogy.
Well done. I love it.
Look, I'm gonna just go because I'm gonna get out of here and help my kids get to bed. They're getting crazy. But I will say the exact opposite order of Jordan, and it's what OG DeBurley, AAA Hype Man says right there in the comments. Exact opposite order. Golf, because I think it is most similar. I play it, but it's also most similar to what we do, I think, because it's
so close.
You never ever conquer golf. You can never ever. You're always obsessed with it. You can't conquer it. You can never figure out the fish. You can never figure out the golf. Yeah, exactly. It's a single person sport. So, yeah, it kind of adds up as well.
Reverse nature,
and then
manicured nature.
Cheese. What's that? Yeah. Cheese is too. I mean, it's like good on melted cheese, queso, cheese on burritos, on the Chipotle, just cheese everywhere. It's so
only
good.
Mexican cheese is
American cheese. We just had a burger tonight that I put some American cheese on, dude. It was
okay.
Cheese,
it's two types.
Cheese
of cheese
is so good, man. And then because it just goes on so many things. Pina colada just like once every in a while, so it's got to be number 3. Chopsticks to me, I'm like Paul. You guys have probably talked about this on your show, but dude, when Paul goes to eat, it's just about accomplishing a mission. It's about getting a job done. Yeah. That's it. I don't want time, effort. Just Paul will take a Subway sandwich and it will just go like this.
Goodbye.
In his mouth.
You can't show it.
Like
it
goes,
no, it can't be shown.
Mosaic.
I'm like a cartoon. You just open. I'm like Goku. You just open the mouth, and then you do that, and then it's over.
We're like Shaggy.
We're not even kidding. You've ever seen Paul? You are not even kidding. Am I right, Jeff? It's the most insane thing. It's like
disturbing.
What's the guy that won the Nathan's hot dog eating contest? That's
Joey
who
Chestnut?
That's dude.
Joey Chestnut.
He's literally Joey Chestnut at a restaurant anywhere.
Slap a hot dog,
care.
drink it, basically. Yeah.
I just need to get this in my belly so I can survive and sustain life. Yeah. That's it. It's not like
to live.
There's no enjoyment. It's just so I say chopsticks.
No enjoyment.
Maybe enjoy it. I don't know. But,
chopsticks last. I like it. Thank you very much.
Yeah, that's it. I'll see you guys.
Drew.
Let's see you guys.
Drew go.
See you, Drew.
Thank you, Drew, very much.
Drew's gonna bounce.
Stage right, left for you.
You get the laptop closed, and then he disappears.
He's gone now.
Chopsticks on. All right,
but now we're gonna go. Yeah,
everybody. I'll be quick. I'm not gonna lie. I don't really like any of them. But if I had to choose,
4, done.
Chopsticks, really only good for kindling for a fire. I mean, you got a fork. Why would you use chopsticks? No, that's.
It's so savage. It's just like, throw in the fire.
Wrecked an entire civilization.
Cheese, fire.
I mean, we got forks and spoons. I mean, come on.
That's a great answer. Continue your ranking.
Cheese, I mean, on sandwiches, on food, I like it. Plain, no. Disgusting.
No blocks of cheese bites for you. Got it.
Margaritas, don't really drink them, but I guess.
Pina coladas.
Pina coladas.
Yeah.
I don't think I've ever had a pina colada. I'm not going to lie.
Good.
I don't think. So I guess I'll rank that second until I find out exactly
reserving judgment.
And I've been golfing one time, and it was okay. Not my thing, but it was. I mean, it's fun hitting a ball as hard as you can.
How hard is it to walk around in the sunshine?
Yeah, that's true.
You can find it. You could drive the cart. You could just not even hit the ball.
I mean, the one day I went was on like a 50-degree windy day in the spring, so it wasn't the best weather. But
rough start. Got it.
Yeah, I guess that would be my list.
Bet.
Okay. Good power
Yep.
ranking. I like it.
What you got?
All right. So my list is gonna go cheese number one. I'm going from number one down. Cheese number one, easy.
Easy.
No contest.
Yeah.
Chopsticks number two. I love sushi. I like eating with chopsticks. I feel
Same.
cool and sophisticated when I do so. Golf is going to go next, even though I've never gone other than Top Golf. Top Golf, I've driven my fair share of golf carts. I have never played a round of golf, and I don't intend ever to do so either, unless Paul forces me one day, but most likely not. And then pina colada, bottom tier, least favorite, one of my least favorite drinks, probably of all time.
That's fair.
Not a fan whatsoever. They were dishing them out. They were like throwing them at people in Mexico. And my daughters were obsessed with the non-alcoholic version, and my wife is also not drinking. So like my whole family had all the non-alcoholic pina coladas. I had one sip, and I was like, "Oh yeah, I forgot. I hate these." Yeah.
Wow.
And I'm gonna add something to my ranking as well.
I love this.
So the pina colada, the reason I had to put that where I did was because obviously I'm not of age and
fair
to consume any sort of liquids that are not I won't say the word because I don't know how YouTube works its algorithm at all.
We get it. We get it.
I don't care. We don't monetize this podcast.
You're picking up what I put down, but
I got you.
Yeah, that was the reason behind that.
That's fair.
If you can get non-alcoholic ones if you want to like try it just to see
like,
how.
For me, it's like if I want to just do it, I'm going to do it the right way. You know, like
I mean, it's fair.
I'll just wait.
Fair.
Yeah,
I'll
just wait.
Good for you, following the rules.
Love it.
What a great example. All right.
Did you do yours?
No, I will say cheese is goated. Number one. Not close. I will give you guys though, I don't put cheese on like Mexican food though. I really never.
True form Mexican food, you shouldn't.
Right? I never do. You're just diluting it. Everything else, coat it. Do not care. Yep. I'll eat it straight out the fridge. I'll eat it with the plastic still on it. Done it before. I'll do it again. Number two, I actually really enjoy golf. I do not go very often. Yeah, Charles knows what I'm talking about. Like I said, I barely look at the food I eat.
Perfect bite out of that piece of paper. I'll never forget. Just your jawline. You missed. You forgot something.
You guys know how like you get sliced cheese and there's paper that separates it?
He just grabbed a block of that.
I just slapped 3 pieces and slapped it on there. I didn't know there's paper in between. I'm eating this sandwich. I'm like 5 bites in. Didn't even think about it. I was like, man, this sandwich kind of sucks. And then I pulled like 3 pieces of paper out of the sandwich. Oh, okay. I've been eating paper this whole time. Awesome. So cheese number one, goated. I put, man, this is hard. Chopsticks, they are also drumsticks, so that rackets them way up the list.
Multi-purpose, right?
Yeah. And pina colada, because the song, even if you don't like the drink, I mean, great song. So I think though next I'll go number 2, golf, because I only go golfing once a year. And it's with my dad and my brothers, and I get every single time we go. I golf very average, but I can smoke a drive. It's so satisfying when you absolutely blast one into outer space. The sound, it does something to your soul. It's outstanding. Okay. That is great. So golf number 2 for my ego. Number 3 will go chopsticks, because sushi, all foods you eat with chopsticks, like where you're supposed to, are phenomenal. Yeah. And then pina colada last. Song is good. Drinks are average. I'm happy with my rankings.
There you go. Power ranking. What a way to wrap a show. All right. So I do want to give these guys an opportunity just to shout anything out. If they got anywhere that, they want people finding them and all of that. Yes. I want to make sure we do that. But Jordan, I got you unmuted first, so you get to go. But and then James, I'm getting to you next. So calm down, Paul. So Jordan, anything that you want to shout out, anywhere people can expect to see you, maybe upcoming tournaments, social media, anything you want to throw out, man, go for it.
Yeah. I mean, really, any of the big national tournaments coming up, I will more than likely be there, Lord willing. But I got my own podcast that I run that highlights college kayak anglers. It's kind of a unique niche thing, but you have some really cool guys that come on there and talk about their experiences, and it's overall a really cool podcast. It's called the No Ramp Required podcast. And I also have
love the name.
Yeah.
Kudos given.
Yeah. For the kayak thing, I was like, this is a pretty sweet name. Now I give all credit to ChatGPT, but
You don't have to say that. Don't even say it.
Start. You know how people are like, glory to God. We glory to Chat GPT.
Glory to GPT.
But
all thanks to GPT.
Yeah. But yeah, I also have YouTube and Facebook. It's Jordan Lovejoy on both of those. And then Instagram and TikTok, it's jordan.lovejoy.fishing. And I'm fairly active on those. I'm more active on my story than I am with posts, but that's going to be changing throughout the next couple of months.
Nice.
Love it.
Do it up, man. Go follow
right.
Jordan Lovejoy wherever you can find him.
Yep, check that out. And then James, my friend, anything you want to shout out?
I guess I just have Instagram and Facebook, James Miller for both. Instagram is USA Wanderer, and yeah, I'll be fishing next couple Bassmaster tournaments, the Susquehanna and the Kayak Adventure Series tournaments. I guess I'd shout out a couple of my buddies, Larry Reyes, one of them. He's the one that kind of sparked that fire when I did my first tournament, and we've had a friendly rivalry ever since. And it's always good to have a rivalry with somebody, you know, competition. It really definitely makes you a better angler. But yeah.
Yeah. Paul doesn't even know that I'm like, put up your dukes, idiot.
We're not fighting.
Don't care. I'm not fighting you. Anyway, sorry.
No, you're good. But yeah, that's about it.
Awesome. Love it. And then before we hop off, I do have to shout out this because he'll get mad if I don't do this. OG DeBurley, AAA hype man, who has been a member with us for 63 months. That's a lot of months. That's I don't know how many years that is off the top of my head, but it's a lot. You boys better bring the big boy pants to broodstock in God's country. We got some hammers in Tennessee. I'm an aggressively average hammer, so it's a mystery every time out. JK, can't wait to hit my first KAS event. Clark Vegas is a great town. That is, he's referring to the last event of the KAS this year, which is broodstock. Is this broodstock 3 we're up to? It's got to be 3, right? I think, in terms of the naming convention. But yeah, that's coming up. That's in Tennessee, end of this season. KS. These guys will be there, I'm sure, right? You guys both going to that?
I'll be at Wisconsin and down in Tennessee. Broodstock's not too far away from the campus down there, so I've dabbled in touching those waterways a little bit, so we'll see what happens.
Oh, James, same thing? Going down?
Yep, planning on it. Unless anything changes, yep, I'll be there.
Sweet. Awesome. We will be there too. Probably not in the top rankings, Paul, but we'll be there
somewhere in the rankings.
Somewhere in the rankings, maybe right up the middle.
That's a good podcast for you.
There you go. Huge shout out to these guys. Thank you so much for being on. James, Jordan, we appreciate you guys. And then thank you to you guys for watching the show. Hopefully you got some good stuff out of here, some good tips, all of that. And we'll be back again next week with another live. And oh my gosh, did you guys know iCast is coming up soon? We got a lot of stuff to prep for. So if you want to learn more about some of the new stuff dropping in the fishing industry, stay tuned the next couple of weeks on those episodes. We love you guys so much, and we'll see you on another night. Chaz, take us out. Get us out of here.